Time now to speak to our regular contributor, music fan Dave. Dan, bring us up to speed on where Dave is at and what's going on there.
Well, for those who aren't aware, Dave is an old friend of yours, and I was aware of him from years back. And you phoned him up ahead of your first show, just a couple of hours before, for the first time in 5 years, I think.
That's right, yeah.
And amazingly, he hadn't changed his mobile number, so he was still happy to speak to you.
Yeah.
And it turned out he was doing a walk from Land's End to John O'Groats, which is quite an interesting thing to do, especially
And what
in the
charity is
winter.
he doing that for?
Well, interestingly, Steve, he's not doing it for charity.
He's right, yeah. Absolutely.
He's doing it for reasons which, to be honest, even though we've asked him, they remain unclear. And I find it slightly sinister. I think a lot of people do. The text messages have lit up, and a lot of people do find it quite sinister and a bit odd.
A bit weird.
Because it's nearly 1,000 miles. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to put yourself through that, why not do it for charity?
Do it for charity. It's almost perverse to not do it.
I would suggest so. So that's where we are. And so he's been, well, this would mean he's been walking for 2 weeks now.
That's extraordinary. Okay, Dave, are you there?
Hello, Steve. Not dead yet. Two things I'd like to point out. It's more than 1,000 miles. And
Okay.
that whole 5 years thing, that must have been just before you became a minor celebrity, and then suddenly there was silence. So,
Yeah.
you know, let the listenership
But
make
Dave,
of that what
Dave, you've
they
got to remember,
will.
I think you'll find I dropped your friendship long before that. I dropped you like a hot potato a long time ago, even before there was any celebrity on the horizon. Where are you now then, Dave?
I've got at least 4 limps, but I've made it to your kind of neck of the woods. I'm in Bath today.
Oh, well done. Round of applause for Dave.
Yeah, Somerset.
And you're back. How's the week been? Because we had some snow up here. Has it been pretty tricky on the way?
Cold, no snow. It's been painful and, you know, rather mundane, to be honest.
What do you do as you're walking? What do you do to fill the time? You're just listening to music?
Whistling,
Yeah.
watching, learning, getting in touch with nature whilst lugging technology,
Sure.
mainly. Yeah.
And are you regretting this walk at any point, or is it still exciting?
There was a point when I was lost near Glastonbury in the dark and the cold, when I was beginning to have second thoughts, but I pulled myself through.
Did you find any of the dregs that normally hang around after the Glastonbury Festival? If you go to Glastonbury, there's always people there who just stay
I'm
from
telling
one
you,
festival to the next.
It's full of freaks.
Yeah.
It really is. A very bizarre place.
Yeah, you blended in perfectly.
Yeah.
Now, did you drive down to Land's End and just leave your car there?
Oh, no.
How did you get down there?
I was chauffeured by my current squeeze, who's providing support and backup and.
So your girlfriend drove you down. So your girlfriend drove you down there, and then she drove back to your home, wherever that is.
Yeah.
Right.
And
You
then drove
don't
down
get the
again.
impression that she's trying to tell you something, Dave. That she drove you to Land's End, dumped you there, and said, "I'll see you in about 6 weeks."
It did stop the car before I was flung out. But,
Right, yeah.
Maybe there is a message there.
Yeah, that's interesting. And so, but she's right behind you. Is she on this?
Well, I think it's the same as everyone else. There's a mixture of admiration, disbelief, and indifference. But you know, if I listened to what people thought of me, I'd never leave the house, would I, Steve?
No, absolutely, indeed. Okay, well, listen, Dave. What tune are you going to recommend? Because the whole reason I phoned you up, lest we forget, was not to find out about this, but because you've always had an excellent taste in music, and you've sent me some great compilation CDs in the past, which I do not endorse. That is a copyright infringement. Do not encourage it whatsoever. But you have sent me some excellent compilations, and I always like to just make sense to have you introduce some of the choices that you've given me in the past. What are you going to select for me this week?
Okay, well, many artists have a brilliant first single or album. I'm thinking Oasis and Aqua. And they failed then to recapture that magic. This guy avoided that problem by making this song the only thing he ever recorded. My choice is Frank Wilson and Do I Love You? Indeed I Do.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed, Dave. We'll speak to you again next week, hopefully.
Yeah, I think I'll have a lie down.
Absolutely. All the best.
Bye.
Dave's choice for this week, that's Frank Wilson and Do I Love You, brackets, Indeed I Do. And thank you to Dave, and obviously good luck to him. And, Dan was just pointing out, we don't know yet if he's had to sleep rough, because, he just set out on this adventure. He had a vague idea of a few B&Bs along the way. But generally, he's just set off, walking. And we're hopefully going to try and put up a link, because he's writing a blog, and there's some photos of him actually doing it, in case you think he's just a hilarious comedy construct. He is actually doing this, which I'm sure we'll be able to put up on the website at some point. Now, earlier on